Oh, dude, I didn't see you there, Broham. We're gonna go for a night swim in the pool with a portal to the ghost dimension for paranormal activity. You wanna come? First and foremost, though, bro, you gotta hit up some SPF 1001. Now I'm safe from the sun's rays. All right, let's get into a review of Night Swim.
Marco.
Night Swim is the first horror movie of 2024 that I'm really talking about on this page. It was written and directed by a guy named Bryce McGuire, and it stars Wyatt Russell, the son to Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. It's the first release from Blumhouse and Atomic Monster this year, which just merged forces together as one gigantic company. The plot synopsis for Night Swim reads, forced into early retirement by a degenerative illness, former baseball player Ray Waller moves into a new house with his wife and 2 children. He hopes that the backyard swimming pool will be fun for the kids and provide physical therapy for himself. However, a dark secret from the home's past soon unleashes a malevolent force that drags the family into the depths of the inescapable terror. So first off, we're gonna do a little non-spoiler review followed by a spoiler review. I'll give you a little warning before we get into that section of the video though for my friends out there who have not seen this one yet. Night Swim is your generic Blumhouse horror release. There is nothing new that this movie has to offer, unlike last year's Megan, which was a big hit last January. Night Swim just feels like you're going through the motions. There are entire aspects of the plot of this one that are just borrowed from other Blumhouse properties and Frankensteined together into this haunted pool movie. There is one sequence of this movie that is so creepy and hard to watch, all for the wrong reasons, and a lot of the cast seems to just be phoning this in, except for a side character that I'm hyped to talk about a little later into this video. I came away from this movie thinking to myself, I'm so glad that Wyatt Russell is getting a paycheck. A lot of the effects and scares are just so run-of-the-mill too. There's just nothing super experimental or ambitious or new or different about this movie. You've seen this one 1,000 times. I don't have a whole lot else to say about this movie that's non-spoilery, so we're gonna move right on into the spoiler section right now. You have been warned, my dudes. Now let's cowabunga into the spoilers. Is that even a thing people say? Probably not. I'm from Ohio. I don't know why I'm dressed like this. Surf's up! So like I was saying in my spoiler-free review, a lot of the cast just seems to be phoning this one in, especially Wyatt Russell, who I know is a good actor. I've seen Overlord from 2018 and Playtest, the best Black Mirror episode. Yeah, I said it. Season 6 was really good, but nothing tops Playtest, baby. Ooh! The son of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, of course this guy is gonna be a good actor, not to be too presumptuous, but the dude just phones it in here and is clearly collecting a paycheck. Do I blame him considering the script? Not really. I could say the same about the rest of the cast here, except for Nancy Lenehan. Nancy plays the realtor that sells the house to this family, but little did you know she actually knew about the haunted pool all along. So basically what I'm saying is Nancy here is a menace to society. She's not even like the nice old lady type either. She literally brings over a rum cake that is shaped like their pool to rub it in. Yeah, I sold you guys a haunted house and I don't feel the least bit bad about it. In fact, I'm gonna get drunk at your house while you guys die. Nancy is an absolute pariah in this movie. She's the real villain here. Jodie Long plays the mother of the former family that used to live there before their daughter died, and I don't know, she's given this really cheesy over-the-top performance. This whole scene was just way too silly. I was saying this in the spoiler-free section, but I'm gonna say it again. The plot is so damn generic. We are going through the motions of your typical Blumhouse movie. Strike one, 2024. That actually works with the movie, considering a large portion of this is about baseball, surprisingly. Wasn't expecting that in the haunted pool movie, but it does work. I'll give them that. I truly wonder why I still watch Blumhouse movies these days. I mean, a lot of the ghosts and creatures in this look so bad. I mean, I've seen movies that have half the budget of this film with better looking ghosts or monsters. The big scene from that first trailer that came out where the girl's like swimming in the water playing Marco Polo is like so much worse in the movie than it was in the trailer. You have this really bad looking ghost that they purposefully like turned up the black levels on so you couldn't see how bad the makeup was in the water. It like comes up behind her and goes like polo, like it actually does that, unlike in the trailer where it just drags her underwater. I was honestly kind of upset by a certain sequence in the second act where Wyatt Russell's character talks to a kid from another family. At this point, the dude's like possessed by the pool, which is why he's acting like this, but he like puts his hand on this kid's shoulder and he's just like, hey, I bet we could play chicken and beat steroid Shrek over there. You want some candy that's inside my house? Dude was giving off a certain vibe, and I don't know if the movie had that intention. That's all I'm saying. He plays chicken in his pool with like someone else's kid, which is already really weird, and then starts to drown him by walking into the deep end and like not letting go of his legs. Once again, there's a lot of things I'm thinking about here that I don't think the movie wants me to think about. The reason this happens is because later on in the film, it's explained that when the pool gives something, like how Wyatt Russell was able to get over his degenerative illness, it also takes as well. well, meaning it's going to take the life of a child, which is usually the primary target of this pool for some reason. Sometimes pools are just hungry for kids, I guess. This scene could have been done just so much better if it was like after the party and they were like cleaning up and Wyatt's character is just out there with like this other family's kid who also maybe they just happened to stay to help clean up after everyone else pieced out. Maybe you set up during the pool party sequence that the kid can't swim, he falls in and Wyatt Russell just kind of stares at him and does nothing, so you get the sense that something's wrong with him. You could add Wyatt Russell's character like fall over and pass out before everyone discovered the kid drowning in the pool, they save the kid, they save Wyatt. That way there's no bruise marks on the kid's legs because of how hard he was holding on to him. Wyatt like should have gone to jail here, degenerative illness or not, that's still attempted murder. The third act of this movie kind of rips off the first two Insidious flicks, which I really wasn't a fan of. For instance, in the third act, you have the mom character going after the little boy who's being sucked into the demon dimension at the bottom of their pool. You really got to get rid of those things before they become a problem. Just like Josh Lambert in Insidious, she dives into the pool dimension and goes to save her son with all of these ghosts like swimming towards them, trying to drag her down to the bottom. It looks exactly like the Further in the third act of the first Insidious movie, but underwater. Is it a cool shot? Absolutely, but they just yanked it from Insidious, another Blumhouse property. Now listen, if they would have just stolen one thing from Insidious, okay, whatever. But at the same time that this is happening, you also have Wyatt Russell's character who's possessed by the pool water or whatever, chasing after their daughter, which is just like the third act of Insidious Chapter 2. What the hell are you doing, Nightswim? I'm convinced Bryce McGuire, who wrote this film, just watched the first two Insidious flicks and took some notes. The third act solution to all of their problems is also super messy. The mom character saves the little boy, bringing him out of the pool, bringing him onto dry land, and gets all the water out of his lungs, you know, the whole 9 yards pretty much. When that happens, Wyatt Russell's character spits out a bunch of black goo and then he's like, fine, he's like, oh, I'm chilling, while the little boy starts to get possessed by the pool now. Wyatt immediately chooses to swim into the void and sacrifice himself to save his son. But like, don't you think they could have just, you know, restrained the little boy for a little while to figure out a better solution possibly? There's a scene earlier on in the film where the mom character goes to find the former owner of the house, who is still possessed by the pool. I guess an attempt was made to learn more about the dangers of this water in this pool that comes from some weird spring, but like, our characters never really learned anything. I bet if they would have kept digging, they probably could have found a better solution. That's all I'm saying. I don't think Wyatt Russell needed to just, you know, do this to himself. Also, why was Rebecca, the dead girl from the beginning of the movie, helping our main characters where all of the other ghosts were trying to drag them to the bottom of the pool? You might also remember that earlier in the film, Rebecca led the little boy to like a scary ghost hand that tried to like, I don't know, rip his face off or something, attack the little kid. Maybe she just had a random change of heart to help our characters in the third act. I'm not 100% sure. We're not exactly off to a good note with 2024 horror, but we do have some awesome releases coming later in the year that I am excited for. With Nightswim though, I'm only giving this one a 3 out of 10. I think that is very appropriate. A lot of this movie is just yanking from other stuff, and the whole gimmick of like the pool's haunted, not the house, is actually less interesting than just the house also being haunted. What did you guys think about Nightswim though? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching my new review of Nightswim. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. Please consider supporting me on Patreon by clicking on the link in the description below. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.